Um, Hello, greetings to everyone. Uh, Today we are here to have a new guest, Adikeshwar Shastriji, uh, and we will start with our prayer, universal prayer. O hidden light, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May all who feel themselves as one with thee know they are therefore one with every other. Okay, and let's start our meeting with a small introduction of our today's speaker. Today, our guest name is K.A. Adikeshava Prakash Shastri. He is a highly accomplished cooperative trainer, consultant, and dedicated second generation theosophist who has been deeply involved with the movement since 1976. He currently serving as the national speaker and by profession he is a cooperative trainer and consultant. He holds a BE degree in electronics and electrical sector, an MBA, and a postgraduate diploma in journalism and mass communication. He started his theosophical journey in 1976 as a second generation theosophist, affiliated to Devanagari Lodge, Karnataka Theosophical Federation. He also served as an ex-council member of the KPF and an ex-council member of National Federation. Thank you. Sorry. Sir, here the platform is yours. Please continue, sir.
Thank you so much. An theosophist, introducing me and, taking part in our this thing. It's a wonderful, uh, wonderful to see that the young generation has come up with such, uh, e- enthusiasm. So we will start off today's, uh, you know, session. So let me share the 1 minute. Kindly hold on for a minute. Oh my God, there is some technical hitch. I'll correct it in a minute.
Yeah, please, sir. No problem.
Okay. Yes. Uh, okay, we will start today's session with something called the process of creation. The process of creation is an important, knowledge to be acquired by us, the Theosophists, and who are in the path of the great journey of philosophy. So today we will just see how the scientific, the Indian systems, and the theosophical approach to the process of creation is. So I have literatures, Sacred Doctrine by Madam Blavatsky, Rigveda, where I have considered Nasadasi Sutra, and then I have referred to Big Bang and the creation of universe, and some scientific papers I have covered, and the self culture in the light of occultism, the great brother I.K. Taimini. So these are the reference literatures I have seen. Okay, whenever we consider our path in this great journey, we have to see something called a stage which is called anti-creation stage. That means whenever there is a creation, the creation should something, because this creation doesn't occur artically or without any important aspects involved with that. So we will consider anti-creation stage, and then that creation stage where exactly the universe, the known and the unknown both started creating. And the third important thing that we have to see is the post-creation stage. So these are the three important stages that we have to understand. One is anti-creation stage, just before the creation. At the time of creation, what happened? Creation stage, and post-creation stage, just after the creation started, the downpour started. We in theosophy we call it downpour. The downpour started. What exactly happened and how exactly it happens? So first we will consider this anti-creation stage. Okay. Before this thing, the anti-creation stage, the question arises: is how did creation happen? So there should be a timeline when it happened. Somewhere around a few billion years ago. A few billion is, unimaginable, unimaginable. So the basic question is, how did the creation happen? What was its timeline? And relation between time and space, we will just study. So if you answer this question, there should be some you know uh, great answers, great uh, in the meaning that some absurd questions that God created everything. This is the common phrase we hear. So how did creation happen? God created everything. Who is this? How did he create? We don't know. He just created everything. Everything seen and unseen in this whole world. So the other question, we philosophers or we thinker, the chelas of thinkers and who are on the path of this occultism, we ask the same question. If so, did God exist before creation? The word creation itself, formation of something new. So this question answered by so many, religious texts say that God created something. before. If God created everything, what did he use for the creation? This is the next question. Yes, God created everything. But when he has to create, he has to have something along with him so that he can mix all those things and create. We have so many ingredients. We mix the ingredient in proper way and we cook. So, did God possess something along with him for this great joy creation? Maybe if the answers for these are obtained, that is the real philosophy. That's what we are into. And who created and what was the purpose of creation? So, if he had so, I think we missed, and now I think you can see it. So, along with God, there was something. So, God is not eternal. God is not everything. There was something alongside with the God. But that becomes the great duality. It means God was not alone before creation, and there was something which was or which were contemporary of God. When you ask this question, and when we get this answer, and we have something called duality. Yes, God was there, God created everything, and God is omnipotent. He cannot be, he cannot, you cannot overrule or you cannot override God. That theory, which most of the religious texts and others say, they go in vain. So this duality is definitely rejected by the people who are on the path of, great occultic path. Whenever you have such things, the next question is how exactly creation happened. So why we are here, what were we before, and what will be in future? That is the question. And behind this question, we are learning to get an answer so that our the way we are brought up or the way we have looked into the past should be changed and we should have a new path. So for this question, how exactly creation happened, we can give again anti-creation stage. Whenever I say anti-creation stage, you can say this is beyond the reach of physical science. Ask any scientist what was there before creation. He says, I don't know. Yes, physical science cannot give us the complete picture of that great, whatever you call it. Let's call it like, Brahman. Before creation, there existed Brahman, and how was Brahman? What was his character? What were his characteristics? And how did he do everything? No, the physical science, it is this question is beyond the reach of physical science. Now, whenever we say creation stage, creation stage can be explained using science. Science can again, science has predicted what exactly happened exactly at the time of creation. And second one that you can see here, many religions have proposed theories about the creation. So every man, every individual, every person who is seeking the path, he has a great explanation for it. Just for example, a few Semitic religions say that the whole universe was created in 7 days. Hmm, is it possible? But science negates it. And the third option is the post creative age could be studied by something called after the creation, what manifested into so many, which took a lot of manifestations. What was those? What were those? That is the first question. And from there, from this manifestation of the universe started something called involution, and this involution brought about non-living evolution, like minerals. All these stuff started evolution of non-living things, and once that happened, there was a small point where the evolution of life took place. Yes, this is what science experience, and this is what we have studied. Wonderful. This evolution of life, this is, I'm talking about pure scientific way. Okay, this is scientific explanation. This evolution of life that we see, uh, it goes on, on its path, and this whole process is evolution. When the start of a small life started, that was the period when evolution ended. And from this evolution of life, science cannot explain anything. For example, whenever we talk of evolution, say from the living and non-living, both viruses to human beings, Homo sapiens, sapiens. Okay, it says this is evolution. There was something called virus, which was a borderline between living and non-living. Obviously, it is. You can store viruses for thousands of years because viruses need a host cell to live. So whenever they don't get host, they become non-living things. Only at the time when they get the host cell, they grow in the host cell. From there to you can say 5 kingdoms: Protista, Monera, Plantae, Animalia. All these things will come. From there, the early animals, stage start, like from Porifera, which are called sponges, to chordates, from chordates to mammalia, from mammalia, the human being, Homo sapiens. This is evolution. Till that, the science has given it, and we also have studied it. But beyond this explanation, this physical science cannot tell about the evolution of desires. Yes, for science, every Homo sapien, whether Asiatic or Mongoloid or Negroid or whoever it is, uh, everybody physically they are same. We have the same kind of DNA structure, and we have the same kind of physical and biological features. But do you think that evolution of a life from human to superhuman only depends upon the physical characteristics that one has, like color of eye, color of this thing, personality he has, everything. But this beyond the explanations given by science, no science will talk about the evolution of desires. Maybe I have studied Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud gives an illogical way of saying that whenever he speaks about Eid, super Eid, and all these things, it is not the exact description of how the evolution of desires take place. When these desires grow, and for these desires we need a mind. And again, we cannot where exactly is the mind, whether it is in the physical body or something. Science says yes, there is something called mind, where it involves the brain functions and all that. And once again, it cannot give the complete picture of mind, because if every human beings or if every animals were the same, the evolution of desires, the evolution of the mind, everything would have been the same. But even there are certain instances where science says when a species grow, it all depends on the natural environment they are in. But we know it. A person who is with great leaders and all these things, he cannot become a good leader. A person with horrible people, he'll be a nice person. So you cannot judge that the surroundings, the environment he is in, cannot predict the evolution of mind. And next important thing is the evolution of buddhi. Now you can observe from physical state to mental state. I mean, physical to astral to mental to buddhic stage. Man is growing, or the man has the capacity to grow. And once this evolution of buddhi takes place, yes, above that, there is post-buddhic evolution. Different things that we have. So, science cannot explain the creation of desire and how it constitutes the evolution of something called mind, and from mind, evolution of buddhic thing and buddhic evolution. When we want to have this thing done, and this is the real evolution, because the science says evolution is from the smallest living being to human being. But the real evolution, the philosophical evolution, is from becoming a complete physical body, or having a physical state, to evoluting to higher levels. That is called evolution. Okay, when we talk about creation, which has been our main intention or dream to study, we can explain this creation in three important ways. One is the physical sciences, and one is the Vedas, and the third one is the theosophical science. Maybe the theosophical science gives a clear picture how exactly it happens. Let's see what exactly do they say. Okay, in 1920, Georges Lemaitre, he was a Belgian priest. He suggested that the universe began from a single primordial atom. Please do not interpret atom which contain electrons, protons, neutrons to this atom. He called it as primordial matter. This primordial matter was a single force which consisted of four important fundamental features: gravity, electromagnetism, and strong and weak nuclear forces. This primordial matter, about 13.7 billion years back, there was something which happened there. This primordial matter, it had a bang. This bang made the whole things inside a primordial matter. Please, whenever I say primordial matter, it is, please remember that it was the smallest of smallest things where a huge energy was stored. And when that mass, mass was negligible. And he said, this mass, the most, the smallest mass, which had huge amount of energy, it had a bang. Sometimes they say it also expanded. There are two theories, but two theories are same. One say it blasted. The second one says, it is like balloon. This balloon was small, it started growing. So when this Big Bang occurred, whatever the energy it had, that energy, superficial, infinite energy, it started, okay, it started to grow. Yes? And when it started to grow, or when it started to gain mass, it became an atomless state. The first one was it expanded and the formation of atomless state took place. Uh, Dalton, he says, atoms are the smallest particles which are indivisible. But later on, we came to know that atoms can be divided where the nuclei are broken or the nucleus can be put together like fission and fusion, and it forms another, it gets another form. So this primordial matter after the Big Bang became, it became a whole globe of atomless, particles, which presently scientists call as quarks. The quantum theory says quarks. This atomless this thing took place. We started to get subatomic particles. These subatomic particles are electrons, protons, and neutrons. Observe this primordial matter. This primordial matter that we see, it did not have any characters. So this state of pure, and as a student in philosophy, we call it as the Brahman. So it did not have anything. When that bang happened, we had subatomic particles which gained characteristics. Even the atomless states also, like quarks, they gained electromagnetic energy. They had this gravitational thing. And these subatomic particles like protons, neutrons, and electrons, you see, neutrons, they gained mass, became neutral. The other characteristic was of proton, which gained some of a kind of energy, and the electrons, they gained some kind of energy. And these subatomic particles, they join together to make light elements. Just for example, light elements are, as you know, the first one is hydrogen, which has only one electron and one proton. One neutron. Okay. So from there to helium to such stated, these light elements like hydrogen and helium, they formed. When hydrogen was formed, these hydrogen got together. Please remember, now they are getting the characteristics. They are becoming more and more. They are gaining more and more mass. And once they started to getting the mass, they became the stars. Because observe any stars, we have stars are bundle of hydrogen and helium, where hydrogen is converted to helium. Uh, this process is reversed. And look at the stars, look at the gravity they have. Uh, you know, can you make some kind of understanding between what it is saying and the downpour of all the energy in philosophy it is? Yeah. And these stars again, they started combining together and form the Milky Way. And these Milky Ways gave way to planets, and these planets came together, and it became a planetary system. Look at the progress now from light elements to planetary systems, which had high mass, low energy. Here, high energy, no mass, let's call it a no mass only. From there to planetary systems, which gave rise to some kind of minerals to start with, and these minerals gave rise to something called single-celled organisms that we speak about often. Like there is a great experiment of making urea. Okay, so this urea was the first binder of these organisms, and from there we got multicellular organisms, and as it goes on, we got plants, and from plants we have animals. Finally, all the animals, the animal kingdom, Animalia, the highest level of growth or revolution was human being, man, from Homo erectus to Homo sapien, or and right now scientists are saying about Homo sapien sapien. So this is how the whole universe, we are here because of the combining forces of atomless states and the manifestation of that into several things like light, stars, planets, multicellular organisms. Finally, we are human beings, and we can think, we can do a lot of wonders, we have technology behind us, everything. So we call ourselves as the grown animals. So this is how the explanation is given scientifically. Now, when we have this, what do the Indian system of philosophy, what does it say? What does it say? Especially the origins of creation is written in Rig Veda about 6,000 years, and maybe the timeline, we are not sure. Maybe some people say 5,000, or some people say 6,000, whatever it is, thousands of years back, we can say, and it is given by hymns under 10th mandala, and that is called as Nasadiya Sukta. The name itself says Nas Asida Sukta. So, what does it say? You just listen to it. Before the creation happened, nothing was there, nor existence, nor nothingness. There was no air, there was not even heavens beyond it. What covered it? Where was it? In those keeping was there than the cosmic water in depths unfathomed. So it says there was nothing, you cannot explain it. It was a bundle of nothingness, and it was full. And it gave away fullness to everything. So there are about 13 slokas. Yeah, this is the important one. That stage before formation of anything, there was neither death nor immortality, nor was there then the torch of night of and a day. The one breathed windlessly and self-sustaining. There was that one then, and there was no other. So the Brahman, what we say that Brahman who manifested himself to atomless states to human beings, he was he didn't have any character at all. He didn't have death. He was not born. He didn't die, and there was no night and day, because that's what we theosophists say. You cannot. He is unparalleled. Whenever we say night with comparison of day. We see the day, we see the sun, we call it as day. When there is no sun, we call it as night. But think of a stage where there is no sun or there is sun. There is only one thing. So there is no comparative to that. So when you don't have something like that, definitely, you cannot, because the physical science, it it is against it. It says no, there should be some, it should have some characteristics. But definitely there was no characteristic. And all the characteristics were there, but it was not there. Look at this one.
सलिलं सर्वमाहितं तुच्छेनाप्यपीतं यदाहीत् तपसस्तन्महिमा जायतैकम्.
It says that one which came to be enclosed in nothing arose at last, born of the power of heat. So it was enclosed by darkness, and there was unilluminated water in it. It's all poetical way they are explaining. So you cannot say that darkness, you cannot imagine that darkness wrapped in darkness.
ततो बन्धुं सति निरविन्दन् हृदि प्रतीह्या कवयो मनीषः.
So this is the stage of descending. The Brahman, the Logos, it started descending, gaining characters from different characters, different both physical and metaphysical characters. It started to gain, and that was because it wanted to descend. And then that was the primal seed. It was born of the mind. Everything. The sages who have searched their hearts with wisdom know that which is kin to that which is not. So only the people who are on the path of occultism, they do understand this. Unless a physical, a person who is not interested in, gaining the occultic path, he cannot he cannot understand all these things.
रेतोदा आसन् महिमान आसन् स्वथ अवस्थात् प्रयते परस्तात्.
Here it says, these seminal powers made fertile mighty forces. Below was a strength, and over it was an impulse. Something was there which manifested, or which got itself manifested, and that was through impulse. In the second level, we'll discuss about these impulses. These impulses or waves of energy. And how exactly it happens, we will see it in this thing, our next this thing, uh, second version.
उत आजाता कुत इयं विसृष्टिः अर्वा एव जनाय अधा को वेद यत आबभूव.
But after all, who knows and who can say whence it all came and how creation happened? The gods themselves are later than creation. So who knows truly whence it has arisen? Because whatever we understand, it is only the post-creative creation stage. The time of creation and the anti-creation stage. Uh, you know, we really we do not understand. That's why it says, who knows truly whence it has arisen? But it arose. And when it arose,
यत आबभूव यदि वादधे यदि वा न यो अस्याध्यक्ष परमेभ्यो मन्नो तो अंगवेद यदि वा न वेद.
whence all creation had its origin, he, whether he fashioned it or whether he did not, he who surveys it all from the highest heaven, he knows, or maybe even he doesn't know. This is about that stage, the Brahman stage. Did he do it? Maybe he did it. Is he observing everything? Maybe he is doing, or maybe not, because even he doesn't know. This is a purest form of the non-dualistic this thing, because observing oneself, whenever the Brahman manifested into the other things, definitely he is part of everything. Whoever observes himself observes Brahma himself, or observes the ultimate the sight of moksha. We call it a sight of moksha. Okay. So this was about the scientifical angle that we discussed. When we come to theosophical view, we have one more unmanifested God. This unmanifested God is in the form of logos, and this unmanifested God, it gets into cosmic logos, manifests itself into cosmic logos and the root matter, which is called as the stage Adi. Okay, once it happens, we have the solar logos, and these solar logos rise to Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Please, most of the people ask me, non-theists of whenever I speak of this, Brahma is not a four-headed Brahma, or Vishnu is not one is sleeping on snake, or Shiva, who who is Aparadini, who lives in all things. I mean, in the places where we cannot stay. So this Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, the manifestation of the unmanifested God happened, and the downpour started, and that downpour started from the Adi stage to the physical plane. From Adi plane, physical plane, the downpour started, and you can see this Brahman, especially in the Atmaloka, that we have already discussed with his office Vishnu. And there is something Shiva who is into Adi, and from this logos, definitely the manifestation started down towards the downside, and from it starts from myth to human beings. So there are 7 stages through which this logos gets downpoured and it reaches the physical state, and from there the evolution starts. Minerals, and finally we have man, and we as human beings, we are also getting evoluted. Okay, this is how the philosophical view, the scientific view and the theosophical view, it corroborates. Because there is no, we don't consider non here. It is completely, sorry, duality here. It is completely non-dual. Once this happens, and definitely this figure, here is the primordial soul, Brahman, the logos, and it starts using the shape. We call it as involution. It is called as an involute. Involute could be beautifully explained in Fibonacci series. And Fibonacci series, again, we call it as Fibonacci series. It is best explained in Matrameru, where Kapila Maharshi uses this system to give the essence of life. This is a beautiful thing. So, here are the 7 stages, the physical and all these things. And again, once it happens, once this involution has happened, this evolution will bring us to the center again. Yes. The science says the creation happened because of using they used this formula, especially Albert Einstein, E is equal to mc squared. There was mass and it got converted into energy. Sorry, there was energy which got converted to mass. So where you can see, the people who do not understand mass is, let's say, shape. It has weight and it has space. So during the time, this time space made this energy into mass. And this mass started evolution, and finally the whole mass, because energy, it is not lost. So all the mass go and of energy, that is Brahman, Brahmatva. Few people call it as moksha. Some the Bhakti Panth people, they call it as the Vaikuntha or Kailasa or whatever it is. It's all the physical names given, but ultimately you cannot name it. Let's call it as Brahmatattva, and that is the real revolution that would happen. So you can see here this process of evolution. You can see it in nature also. So 7 stages. 7 has a value, and every stage, or we call it in theosophy as planes, has 7 smaller planes. Finally, all this has to reach one thing. So our aim as a theosophist, evolve ourselves to higher levels, to reach higher planes, to work on higher planes. Especially we people are into only the 3 lower stages. The physical stage, the astral stage, and the mental stage. Even in mental stage, we are at the lower mental level. But we have to reach, we have to make it. It is not physical movement. It is metaphysical movement that would take us to the Buddhi, the planes, the Anupadaka plane, Adi plane, and finally, once we reach there, the whole uniqueness, this will be called as a circle. This circle will take us to where we have come, and we have to reach there, because that's where having a non-dual, where you don't have anything but you have everything stage, is the most important aspect of our journey in future. So this is what we have in the time frame that maybe I was a little bit fast, I could not explain it better, but how does it happen, and what is the energy that is involved in it? maybe next week we can discuss about it. The impulses we discussed. It's a beautiful thing again. And finally, there are some questions which arise out of it. We will answer it also. That means everything which is born or which is seen or which is manifested, will it reach the ultimate stage? Number one. And if everything reaches the ultimate stage, why are we worried? So why should we go in the path of failure? Because ultimately, one or the other day, we have to reach there. But why should we, force ourselves to study, to, experience all these, the theosophical teachings to become one with oneness? So that's what we can have a discussion about it later. The second this thing. So first of all, I thank you for the opportunity given, because my time, I believe, is over. And if there are any questions, any feedbacks, or any corrections, no, we could do it.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. That's really wonderful, and your insights have truly elevated our understanding. Uh, if anyone feels more to share a reflection or ask a question, please feel free to unmute.
Hello, sir. Namaskar. A little question, a small question.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. A question. Where
Yes,
from
sir.
three? Where from three outpouring come? Either from Adi or Anupada. Three outpouring.
Sir, uh, sir, the downpourings are of three types. That way, no, let's not discuss about it right now. I have just only given that the outpouring has happened. In the next session, we will see how exactly Theosophy says the downpouring and the upward growth. That we will discuss it in the next session, sir. That's why I have kept it there. It is only today's this thing is only to understand the differences, or the similarities between science and theosophy. That's all, sir. Again, I have one session next week, and we will discuss about the downpouring, and because a few people, again, we have to understand the basic concepts of the downpouring according to theosophy. We will do it in the next week, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And anyone, please come forward. Okay. Okay, sir, and thank you really for your wonderful presentation, and our deepest gratitude to uh, Keshavji for his beautiful bridging the worlds of evolution and spirituality. You have shown us the evolution is not just uh, biological, but a divine awakening of consciousness. Uh, Really, thank you, sir. And I thank every seeker present here for your presence and collective energy. And we are near to closing this session for today. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः